Good morning. How are you today? Welcome to class 1096. Yes, 1096. Grammar. Present perfect versus simple past. Present perfect versus simple past. Yes. Ask me questions. Ask me questions about last week. Okay. How many classes did you give last week? Last week I gave 5 classes. And this week? This week I have given 4. And how many movies did you see last week? I saw 1 movie last week. I saw 1 movie. And this week? This week I've seen 2 movies so far. How many times did you have lunch out last month? Last month I had lunch out maybe 8 times. I had lunch. And this month, so far, I've had lunch out 4 or 5 times. How many times did you get angry yesterday? I didn't get angry yesterday. And today? Well, up to now, I haven't gotten angry yet. But I don't get angry, hardly ever. ¿Cómo? Hardly ever. I hardly ever get angry. I hardly ever get angry. Casi nunca, hardly ever. Almost always, hardly ever. Casi siempre, casi nunca. Almost always, hardly ever. I hardly get angry. I didn't get angry yesterday, and I haven't gotten angry today. How many trips did you take last year? Just 1. I took 1 trip last year. No, I took 2. No, I took 1. Only 1. No, I took 2. I took 2 trips last year. 1 to Germany, to Bonn, and 1 to Valencia. And this year? This year I've taken only 1 to Valencia. Why Valencia? Because it's the closest beach. The Malvarrosa is the closest beach to Madrid. It is. In kilometers, there's no beach closer than the Malvarrosa in Valencia. So I go to a hotel there. All right. But do you like the beach? Yeah, it's okay. But I like the Mediterranean. So every year I like to visit the Mediterranean Sea in Mare Nostrum. Yes. And so I like it. So how many Brazilian women did you kiss last month? I didn't kiss any Brazilian women last month. And this month? So far, I haven't kissed any Brazilian women. How many mistakes did you make yesterday? Mistakes? I didn't make any mistakes yesterday. And today? Well, so far, I haven't made any mistakes. But it depends on your definition of a mistake. You see. I mean, mistakes happen all the time. I mean, I make mistakes when I'm teaching in this class. Little mistakes. But in any case, how many times did you go to the moon last year? I didn't go to the moon last year. And this year? I haven't gone to the moon this year either. And how many bombs did you deactivate last month? I didn't deactivate any bombs last month. This month? No. I haven't deactivated any bombs this month either. I'm not an expert in deactivating bombs. Un artificiero or something. I'm not. So I'm not a bomb deactivator. But how many times did you go to the Puerta del Sol last month? I don't remember. I passed through the Puerta del Sol once, I believe, last month. And this month? No, so far I haven't gone to the Plaza Mayor. I haven't passed through the Plaza Mayor this month. Okay. So, this is a very good exercise to say the number of times you did something yesterday, last month, last week, last month, last year, and then the same question or the same answer for this month, today, this week, this month, this year. Para practicar. Fui a la playa 3 veces el año pasado y he ido hasta ahora 2 veces, por ejemplo. Inventa frases y desenlaces. How many people did you kill yesterday? I didn't kill anybody yesterday. And today? So far, I haven't killed anybody. I haven't, so I didn't, I haven't. Etc. And practice this a lot. Okay. Expressions. Page 156. Love at first sight. Amor a primera vista. Love at first sight. Do you believe in love at first sight? No. It depends on your definition of love. I believe in infatuation at first sight. Infatuación, ¿eso qué es? Encaprichamiento, eso sí. But not love. It depends on your definition of love. Yeah. Or keen interest or attraction. Attraction at first sight, yes. But not love at first sight. ¿Realmente crees en el amor a primera vez? Do you really believe in love at first sight? Yeah. Love at first sight. And the next one, page 156. Lovey-dovey. Love, estamos con amor otra vez. Dove. Escrito dove es una paloma de campo. De las palomas de la paz. Blancas. The dove of peace is la paloma de la paz. Now, lovey-dovey. Escrito lovey, dovey. Lovey-dovey. Lovey-dovey es como dos tortolitos acaramelados. Lovey-dovey. Yeah. Lovey-dovey on the park bench. Yes, in the park, lovey-dovey. Acaban de empezar a salir, así que están como dos tortolitos todo el tiempo. They've only just started going out, so they're very lovey-dovey all the time. Con el tiempo ya no es uno to be lovey-dovey. The luck of the draw, the third one. The draw. To draw. Draw is an important word. To draw is dibujar. To draw. But to draw también es sacar. Yeah. To draw water. Sacar agua de un pozo. To draw water from the well. To draw up is elaborar, confeccionar. Preparar un presupuesto. To draw up a budget. To draw up a plan. Elaborar un plan. To draw up. Yes. To draw a conclusion. Eso no es dibujar una conclusión, es sacar, como sacar agua de un pozo. To draw water from the well. To draw a conclusion. ¿Qué conclusión sacas ante esta situación? What conclusion do you draw or can you draw from this situation? To draw. Now, a draw no es un dibujo. A draw es un sorteo. Porque normalmente sí, y sacas algo. Yeah, a draw. You know, ¿cuál es el más largo? Este gana. The black one wins. That's a draw. In the United States, we say drawing. A drawing. The luck of the draw is la suerte del sorteo, de lo que te toque. El palito largo, el pequeño. You know, it's the luck of the draw. Aquí dice, una cuestión de suerte. It's the luck of the draw. The luck of the draw. And finally, a lump in your throat. Throat is la garganta. Throat. Me duele la garganta. I have, si tengo un dolor, tengo una garganta dolorida. I have a sore, es como sore, inflamada. Tengo una inflamada garganta. I have a sore throat. Yeah, I have a sore throat. I'm hoarse. I can't speak. Ahora, un nudo en la garganta is a lump. A lump in my throat. I have a lump in my throat. I have a lump in my throat. Te voy a cortar el cuello. Si vuelves a cometer esos errores. En inglés, I'm going to cut your throat. Te voy a cortar la garganta, decimos. I'm going to cut your throat. Yeah. I'm going to wring your neck. Retorcerte el cuello, sí. Se dice neck. Ring, como anilla o anillo, ring. I'm going to wring your neck. I'm going to cut your throat. But this is a lump. 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 Escrito. Lump. I don't know. The only way for me to explain lump is remembering my father. My mother was an angel. Mi madre era ángel. But she was not a good cook. Es que no cocinaba mal. My father said, but it's interesting that my mother's mother, my maternal grandmother, was a good cook. And my father always said, I'm going to send you back to your mother. Te voy a enviar otra vez a tu mamá to learn how to cook. And you know, it's strange because she was not a good cook, ever. Okay. And she made mashed potatoes. Cuando se hacía puré de patatas y no esos con instantáneas que ahora se hacen. So she'd make, puré. But luego hay trozos más grandes de patata. And then we call that lump. Lumps in the potato. A lumpy mashed potatoes. Puré de patatas con... And my father said, these mashed potatoes are lumpy. My poor mother. No le salía nada bien en la cocina. But it was bad. I remember. Even the hamburgers. I didn't like the hamburgers. And I was 6 years old. And we had hamburgers. And I didn't eat my hamburger. And my mother said, eat your hamburger. And I didn't eat it. And everybody left. She said, you're going to stay at the table until you finish your hamburger. And so my sister finished. She went, my father, my mother. And so I was sitting at the table alone with my hamburger. And my mother disappeared somewhere in the house. Said, no more. And I quickly took the hamburger. I ran to the bathroom. And I opened the cabinet. El armario debajo de la pila o de la, how do you say the basin, el fregadero, no, la pila del baño. And I put it in the back against the wall, closed, debajo de las toallas. And I put the hamburger back in the bathroom, under the sink. El lavabo, esa es la palabra. Under the sink había un mueble con lavabo. Under the towels, back at the back. And I ran back to the kitchen. And my mother came back and said, oh, you finished it? Yeah. Okay. 1 week later, my mother said, Ricky? Yeah. What? Come here. Well, come here. And I went. And it was open. And the cat, teníamos un gato, the cat had discovered the hamburger. And there were 1,000 ants. 1,000 hormigas por ahí, of course. I said, what's that? I don't know. And so my mother caught me with the hamburger, okay? Con las manos en la masa. She caught me red-handed. Well, it was the cat's fault. And the ants, culpa de las hormigas. Yeah, it wasn't my fault. All right. That was my mother. And my father was complaining about lumpy potatoes. Ahora, a lump in your throat un nudo en la garganta. Ella tenía un nudo en la garganta al final de la comedia romántica. She had a lump in her throat at the end of the rom-com. I've learned a new word. Rom-com. Romantic comedy. Está Jimena, la autora. Rom-com. The sitcom es una forma corta de decir situation comedy. Como la serie Friends es una comedia de situaciones cómicas. O sea, montan. It's called a sitcom. Situation comedy. But I've never seen, this is the first time in my life I have seen rom-com, romantic comedy, a rom-com. Probably in Great Britain they say rom-com. This is page 156. Ay, con solo pensar en ello tengo un nudo en la garganta. Just thinking about it brings a lump to my throat. All right. We have finished another page of expressions. Wow. Gain fluency. How much time do I have, Marta? Oh, yeah, I have some time. Ready? Gain fluency. Yes. I didn't explain the story of the hamburger in my autobiography. By the way, I finished my autobiography about 3 months ago. It's available in Amazon or in Vaughan Tienda. All right, Vaughan. You can find my autobiography. But I don't mention the story of the cat and the hamburger. Okay? All right. Gain fluency, page 83, in the middle. Paragraph 756. 756. One reason the U.S. is such a strong country is that it's protected on each side by two enormous oceans. Germany, in contrast, shares a common border with 9 countries. Okay. Yeah. The most important reason that the United States is such a strong country is that it's protected by 2 oceans on each side. Spain shares a common border with 5 countries. Spain shares a border with France. It shares a border with Portugal. It shares a border with Andorra. It shares a border with Gibraltar, or England. Me falta uno. Or dos. It shares a border. Okay, it shares a border with Morocco. Ceuta y Melilla share a border with Morocco. So Spain shares a border with Morocco, Gibraltar, Portugal, Andorra, and France. Am I forgetting another country? I don't think so. Okay, but the U.S. shares a border only with Canada and Mexico. And Canada is frozen, congelado. And Mexico is desierto. Chihuahuas y tarántulas. All right, that's it. Okay, so, the United States is very fortunate because of its geographical position. Okay, it says, one reason the U.S. means the United States. One reason the U.S. is such a strong country. Ahora, con esto de such a strong country, también podríamos decir, one reason the U.S. is so strong. Si no digo la palabra country, uno de los motivos de que los Estados Unidos sea tan fuerte, one of the reasons the United States is so strong, pero si digo que sea un país tan fuerte, añado la palabra país, is such. One reason the U.S. is such a strong country is that it is protected, está protegido. It's protected, ¿dónde? On each side by 2 enormous oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. All right. Germany, in contrast, shares a common border with 9 countries. 9 countries, Germany. Let's go clockwise. Clockwise en el sentido de los agujas de reloj. Go clockwise. Germany shares a common border with Poland. It shares a common border with Czechia, or the Czech Republic. It shares a common border with Austria. It shares a common border with Switzerland. That's 4. It shares a common border with France. That's 5. It shares a common border with Luxembourg. That's 6. It shares a common border with Belgium. That's 7. It shares a common border with the Netherlands. That's 8. And finally, Germany shares a common border with Denmark. Arriba. That's 9. Okay, 9 countries. Yeah. In the United States, only with Canada and Mexico. All right. One reason the U.S. is such a strong country is that it's protected. Es porque está protegido. Is that it's protected on each side by 2 enormous oceans. Germany, in contrast, shares a common border with 9 countries. Okay, the next one. Page 83, paragraph 757. Yes, 757. Keep both hands on the wheel. Keep both hands on the wheel. I know you think you're already an expert driver, but you're only 19 years old, and you still don't have the natural reactions of a veteran driver. Keep both hands on the wheel. La 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 la. No, keep both hands on the wheel. Yes. I know you think. Sé que piensas que eres un experto. I know you think you're an expert driver, but you're only 19 years old. You've been driving for 1 year. You started driving last year when you turned 18 and you got your license. Don't be cocky. Cocky means gallito. You're only 19 years old. Yes. And you still don't have the natural reactions of a veteran driver. Un conductor veterano the car is an extension of his person. So a person who has been driving for 10 years, 15, 20 years, normally has correct reactions, instantaneous reactions that are usually correct. A new driver, no. Even with 1 year experience like this young man. Keep both hands on the wheel. Wheel aquí es volante. The steering wheel. A car has a steering wheel. And the accelerator, the brake pedal, and the clutch. And the gear shift lever. La palanca de cambio de marchas. The gear shift. Gear is engranaje. Shift is cambio. Cambio engranajes, palanca. The gear shift lever. Yes. So, keep both hands on the wheel. I know you think you're an expert driver, but you're only 19 years old. And you still don't have the natural reactions of a veteran driver. Todavía no tienes las reacciones naturales de un conductor veterano. You still don't have the natural reactions of a veteran driver. Okay? All right, the next one. Page 83, 758. When he retired, he bought a house next to a golf course. His plan was to play golf every day, but soon he got tired of it. Before retiring, he had to steal time to play golf. This is my father. This paragraph is about my father. My father he loved to play golf, my father. And when he was working, he played golf usually on Wednesday afternoon. So on Wednesday afternoons, he left the office and had lunch at home. He got home at 12. So he worked only in the morning. He got home at 12 o'clock or 12:30, had lunch, and then went to play golf on Wednesdays. Then on Saturdays and Sundays, he played golf. So my father, when he was working, he stole time. Había que robar tiempo para jugar golf. So golf was very attractive because he was stealing time. But then when he retired, my parents, my mother and father, bought a house near south of Austin, Texas, in Onion Creek, Arroyo de las Cebollas, Onion Creek, next to a golf course. And everything changed, but I'll tell you more tomorrow.